everybody, it's Lana Ray with Pomeroy TV, and today we are reviewing Spider-Gwen from the Amazing Yamaguchi series. Amazing Yamaguchi is powered by Revoltech, so this is one of their figures. We're super excited to open this one up and take it out of the package and take a look. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at the box and see what kind of art that they have on here, because this box is pretty cool. A lot of cool comic book art here on the side. You get a really cool pose of the figure there, and it's nice and big. You get a lot of detail on that photo. Here on the side, you get some really cool stylized photos of the figure. On the back, you get all of these cool poses, and you get all these cool cutouts that I'm going to cut out and use for posing. But all of these really cool quotes that she says in the comic book. On the back, you can also see that you have 3 different head types. You can see all of the option parts there, and the cool thing about this Yamaguchi Revoltech series is that you get a lot of option parts. Super excited to open it up. Oh, look at that! One of the heads is turned around, so hopefully that's okay. Everything's okay. Let's find out. Let's open up this figure, take it out of the package, and take a closer look. All right, here she is out of the package and on the stand, and I gotta say, I really like the posability with this figure. There's a lot that we can do here. She stands at about 6.5 inches, depending on how you pose her. You could probably get her a little bit taller, but then she just kind of has a lot of slouch, I feel like, just with the way that the joints are made. But man, this is such a good figure. Let's go ahead and talk about the option parts that you're going to get, and we'll start with the faces, because I have a little bit of a, it's not, I guess it's a gripe. I have a gripe with one of the faces, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So you're going to get these intense eyes here, which is really good for those action poses. You're going to get her wide-eyed expression, or I guess a blank face expression for when she's wearing her mask. You're going to get this confused look, or this raised eyebrow look for her mask, and then you're going to get her unmasked head right here. And this is where my problems come in, because the face here, I guess there's a lot of detail inside there. The eyes are really nice and vibrant there, but the face is just kind of flat. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So also the expression here is just kind of it's just kind of blank. I'm just walking down the street. I'm Gwen Stacy. This is the face I make, right? It's just kind of it's just bland. But when I put that face on the figure here, it just feels weird. It doesn't look very fun to put on at all. All right, so there she is, and then it just feels like it just doesn't fit. Like it just feels like it's like I said, like it's flat, and it just doesn't push in all the way, and it just looks like she's wearing a mask of her face, which is weird. She actually looks better with the Spider-Man or the Spider-Gwen masks instead of this one, but yeah, I don't know. Something doesn't sit right with me with that one. I just don't like it. What do you guys think? Do you guys like that? It just feels like it just sits on top of everything, and it's just not really flush, and it just makes her kind of look unnatural. Moving on, you do get these 2 fist hands, and the fists have little holes there, so you could put the webbings in that we'll talk about in a little bit. You get these open hands, which are really good for really good poses where she's flying through the air, or she's about to grab something, or of course wall crawling, because Spider-Gwen could do that. These ones look really good. You also get her thwip hands. She's shooting webs out. Let me pull this one off real quick. All right, there we are. So you get your thwip hands, and they have a little hole inside there, so you could stick some webbing in, so she could shoot some webbings. And then you get these 2 hands here. One I feel like is made specifically for holding a cell phone that I'll show you that she gets. And then this other one, which I guess she can hold a cell phone inside there, but it's really more for holding the webbing for really good poses. You get these really cool curled webbings, which is good for poses, and it just, when she's holding onto these and these wrap around her body, the poses look great. You get a straight shot webbing for her thwip hands, and then a very, very tiny cell phone. Is that coming in? So a lot of detail on this cell phone that I really like. It says that she's listening to her dad's voicemail there, and there's a lot of sculpt on there too. It kind of looks like an iPhone with the centralized button there on the bottom, and even if you turn it around, you can actually see a little dot for the camera, which is pretty cool, right? Like, this is just a little piece of plastic, but they put a lot of detail into it for those really good poses, and maybe for some good up close shots. Voicemail says dad right there. It's just very, very detailed. With her open hand, that's designed for the cell phone. I had trouble keeping this keeping this phone inside there. I can never really get it to stick, but there you go. It's in there, but then the moment I move it or do something different, it just falls out. And I've seen videos, I've seen reviews where people are having better luck with this than I am. I just can't do it. I'm terrible at this. I can't see another use for this hand, so I might just glue this in if I need that pose for a cell phone, but yeah, see, I can't do it. What I've tried to do is squeeze the thumb and the fingers together like that first to kind of give it a little bit of tension, and then put it in. And it works a little bit, but it's just not working for me right now. Oh, maybe so. Did I get it? Hey, look at that, I got it. See, you believe and you can achieve. So that's what that hand's for. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the paint on this sculpt. Let me give Gwen Stacy some hands. I took her hands off so I could show you that she had option parts. Okay, so when you put her fist hands in like that, you can hold some webbing like that. And then if we talk about the paint on here, it's really nice because the webbing has like a really matte finish. Like you can see here with my lights, like Gwen Stacy's costume is very shiny. The webbing doesn't do that. It's just very matte. It has this nice texture to it that just makes it feel like it's webbing. Talking about her paint, she looks very good. There is a couple of inconsistencies there, right? Let's see, that looks like an orange, and this is like a blue, this is a purple. I don't know where this orange, this hot orange came from. There's a little bit of scuffage right there, which isn't too bad. I think I might have done that. And just a little bit of just a little bit of sloppiness, I want to say. And I don't want to say that because I really love this figure, but just some of the paint just looks just a little messy. But this white here has this kind of pearlescent look to it. It's very good. It shines and it just looks so good. With that, when you go to the black parts, if you actually, I don't know if you could pick it up here on the camera, but it's actually not black. It's like this very, very deep blue. So, and then you get, of course, you get her light blue little flats that she wears on her feet. Really cool. On the helmets or on the masks here, you can kind of see that you got this blush or this eyeliner look on the eyes, which I think is really cool. But yeah, I really like this figure. Let's see, when you put the thwip hands on, and I like calling them the thwip hands, you have another kind of inconsistency here. So this hand, I feel like, is really just made just for these straight shooting webs, but when you put it in, it just doesn't sit all the way in. It just doesn't feel right. And see, look at that. I'm having trouble putting it on now. All right, so it just doesn't fit all the way. Like if I take the hand off and put the webbing in, it goes all the way in, but then you can kind of see that it blocks my hand going in. So it doesn't fit all the way, and then it starts to poke back out like that. So it doesn't look flush, but I don't know. It just doesn't look very natural, I guess. Like where's that web exactly coming from? Like it's just sitting right on top of her, hands. So I guess I'm trying to find a lot of gripes with this because I love the figure so much. Now with Revoltech, you get these Revoltech joints and cuts in just really weird places that can make the figure feel unnatural. See, like if I look at the shoulder joint here, like it looks like her shoulders are sticking out, but if I pull it back down, if I pull it out and then down, she kind of has more of a shoulder, like more of a natural shoulder joint. Same thing here with her butt and her thighs. Her thighs have this, it's not a straight cut, it's more of a diagonal cut, which kind of gives her more of a natural posability if you're moving it, like it'll look more human. But then putting it back, you kind of forget where the joint or the cut is actually supposed to rest, and then you get these really weird gaps here. See, like that. But you play around with it, you got to move it around, you put it back, and then everything's fine. With the knees here, I noticed that these are pretty tricky to mess around with too, but again, you just move it around, you put it inside a place where you feel natural, where you think it feels natural, and then you're good to go. With her, she has this little pointed tip right here, and then it could be confused with the front of the knee because it has a point right there for the front of the knee, but I noticed that if you put it on the side and then move that ball joint around, it's pretty good. Like it feels more natural. Okay. With posability with Revoltech figures, you get a lot of posability, so let's go ahead and talk about that. So her head goes all the way up like that. Her head can go all the way down like that with the neck joint, which is really cool because it moves all the way up like this for some really good like wall crawling poses, I guess, and it can go really down, which looks a little bit unnatural here. But the thing with these Revoltech ones, if you look at those product shots, they look very similar to comics, and comics are a little bit more exaggerated in their poses and the way that the arms and stuff like that move, which make for these really cool comic shots. And this figure, because of these weird cuts in the joints, you can practically get those comic book poses 100%. So then you get a lot of posability in the shoulder. It goes all the way around like that. You get a ball joint at the elbow. It's not a double ball joint, so she doesn't completely go, it doesn't bend all the way up, but it goes more than 90%, which is always good. You get wrist articulation with the ball joint there. You got good ab crunch. She stretches back like that far. She crunches forward pretty good. You have a swivel there. You get a swivel at the thigh or cut there. Ball joint, ball joint, ball joint at the knee, not double jointed. You get ankle joint with some good pivot, and you get toe articulation, which is I really like. It's just one of my favorite things about a figure. Toe articulation is just important to me, I guess. You also get this really cool Revoltech stand. It has this clasp here for good poses, and it has that peg in the back that's supposed to peg back here, but I guess with my figure, I'm having trouble getting that in. Oh, look at that, I got it in. All right, cool. So that's cool. That's really cool. You also get this clasp here if you want to. The clasp comes off pretty easy, but you get this clasp to kind of hold the figure if you need it to. The coolest thing about this one, and I believe they did this with the Spider-Man Revoltech that they had earlier, is you get this magnet piece right here, and if I were to connect it to this, It's a magnet. I can get Gwen Stacy to uh, wall crawl on some metal figure on the wall and stuff like that for some really cool poses. It's just a really nice little touch to having a stand, is that you get this magnet piece for some extra poses and action shots. So I thought that was really cool. Hey guys, once again, this is Lonnie Ray of Pomeroy TV, and I have a lot of fun making these. So if you enjoy these videos, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any questions you want to ask me or any feedback I can get. I'll take it. I have a lot to learn. So yeah, man, until then, keep collecting. See you guys later.